Hey, it's Kent Philly. Excited that you came back to join me here in the StakeRocketPool channel. It's been a little while. We were at ETH Denver hanging out with a lot of different friends. Feel really grateful that able to attend events in real life and get swag like this from 1inch. Excited to pick up on more Rocket Pool training and DeFi how-to guides because that is the really fun part about decentralized finance for me, and I'm going to jump right into it for us and start sharing my screen. And so what is most exciting for myself about Ethereum and the aha moment is decentralized finance and the ability to own the whole vertical stack and invest all the way through instead of having to just work in traditional banking where you get very little in your savings account and you're sold traditional products that are packaged together with all different types of sales incentives and payments that typically just take away your potential return if you did it yourself. And so here is a great summary of the DeFi money Lego stack. And we have core infrastructure here, and we have Ethereum. We're going to add the image of Rocket Pool right here. And that is the key element of helping stake Ethereum and make it decentralized. You can see that, you can get Rocket Pool RPL tokens on Coinbase now. We have a Chainlink Oracle, and we're going to highlight today how you can use rETH, the liquid staking derivative, on Aave. So there's a helpful DeFi guide, which is right here, created by Val and the Rocket Pool team. Shout out Val for keeping this updated. And the summary details are here in black and white, which may not be too entertaining, but the whole goal is to realize what you can do now with Aave is on the lending side, you can take your rETH tokens, which are compounding Ethereum yield, and you can then lend them out to borrow other tokens and take additional exposure risk. Or you can also just increase your rETH exposure by borrowing against your rETH and buying more rETH. And that would be if you assume that rETH and Ethereum are just going to keep going up, and then we're done with the bear cycle. Personally, I've been wrecked a lot in DeFi, and I do not have the confidence that we're done with the bear cycle yet, but it's really great to know that you can access this now on Aave. So jumping right in, we can see Aave first had to get this approved to offer the asset on Aave V3. That's super exciting. Now that rETH is available on Aave V3, the latest version of Aave that has high efficiency mode and has isolated risk that really has upped the game for decentralized finance. Pardon me, I needed something to drink. The point I wanted to highlight here in the governance vote for onboarding rETH to Aave is how they highlight that previously, and still currently, StakeRocketPool by Lido is the second largest, well, it's actually the largest reserve across all Aave deployments. So V2 and all of Aave, it's $1.47 billion in deposits. And so you can see that primarily it's larger than ETH because people are to go long ETH, and the way to go long ETH is to stake it and then to take your staking coupon and put it into DeFi so you can leverage it or just earn yield by lending it out. And so what they're saying is that this is partially due to several communities have been building products that deposit STETH and borrow ETH as a part of a rewards maximizing strategy called folding. So they can see that the demand for STETH has increased, and they see that the importance of liquid staking derivatives like rETH ahead for Aave will be an additional source of revenue for Aave and benefit the ecosystem as a whole, because onboarding these has an effect on asset liquidity and peg resilience. So what they're saying is that rETH is a fantastic token. It has great tokenomics and fundamentals, and it's continuing to go up in value. So it can be paired well with Ethereum, and those who typically have it hold on to it for quite some time. And so due to all of the research here, checking out the different audits, we've got 6 different audits that Rocketpool has gone through. Their source code, their white paper, bug bounties, all this key information here got passed and then came over to Aave. So here we are in Aave. We're on the Ethereum markets. This is V3. They have a lot of different markets. I personally have moved more assets to L2s like Arbitrum or Optimism, but here a lot of people are still on V3 that are large players. So they have 837 million on V3. And what we can do is just type in rETH, and we can see that there's 11.47 million that's been supplied. And the people who are supplying, the investors, are earning 46 basis points a year. And let's see the details. And they are earning that yield in rETH, which is really exciting. So you're compounding your ETH, but most people are probably folding, so taking additional risk. So let's just walk down through the reserve status and configuration info. This can be confusing at times, but it doesn't have to be. We can see that there's a cap on the amount of rETH that can be deposited into Aave. There can only be 10,000 rETH deposited, and currently there's 6,172.2. So it's 61.72% full. And so that cap would be 18.69 million. And we can see the amount they're willing to pay users for supplying, and this spike depends on the demand. So the supply and demand have a clear relationship. And the good news is that you can use rETH as collateral to borrow. That's that folding strategy we're talking about, to get more rETH or to simply get another token, most likely a shitcoin. But hey, it's likely that your rETH won't go down in value as much as other tokens. So better leverage on things that don't move as much than things that move a lot. Regardless, I don't believe in much leverage. You can do whatever you'd like. You can see that the maximum loan to value ratio is 67%. They tell you what that is. So that means if you put down $1,000, you can borrow $670 of that 1,000. And so after that point, if you were to borrow 67%, you could only go with the price going down 7% before you would get liquidated. So it's not smart to take a really max leverage loan. Maybe like 10 to 20% is something you can sit with for a while, but clearly, there are ways that you can do with DeFi Save or other strategies that fold and take max leverage and also enable you to get out with one click, but those have tighter parameters. And so for me, I like to keep it simple and not over leverage or take any leverage until I'm confident in the direction of the market. But we can see that a lot of people are probably leveraging, because we can see that 95.75% of the market is currently being borrowed. So that means 2.15 million of the 2.24 million is borrowed at 3% a year, 2.94%. It's variable. And that means that people are borrowing against their collateral provided at just 3% a year, which isn't bad. And in DeFi, you usually get pretty high yields. It's not as high as the treasury is paying now for those who have large accounts, but hey, 3% to borrow and to get more opportunity ahead is quite interesting for some high-risk investors. The exciting thing for us at the StakeRocketPool is just to be able to earn additional yield on our rETH or to compound it in times of the market. So we can see when I click on my info that I have a little bit of rETH in my wallet. It's like under $500 worth. And if I were to supply it, I could click max. And I guess I need to switch my network with my wallet. Let's do that. So having issues with my wallet here. I'm using the Frame wallet. Let me see what chains I'm on. Yes, take me to mainnet, please. Okay, well, I'm not going to be able to finish this to show you because it's saying I'm on the wrong network. Typical situation where all I would need to do is to refresh my page, ensure that my wallet is connected to Ethereum mainnet, and then refresh. It should be able to pick it up, but sometimes there are issues when you have to use browser wallets in combination with desktop wallets and hardware wallets. But the whole point is here to show you it's very easy to go to the Aave app. Make sure you're at the right link, app.aave.com. And it's about $15 right now to lend out my $478 of rETH to earn 49 basis points a year. Not much, but if I wanted to leverage it, then that's when stuff gets exciting. So, if you want to learn more about Aave and how it works, we're going to leave a link to their docs. Aave is the best borrowing and lending protocol in DeFi from my experience. Talking with some other developers, they love how clear the code is in V3, and it's very hard for there to be hackers able to steal your assets due to the limits they put on collateral you can put in per asset, the leverage that you can take, and then also the risk parameters that are updated continuously based on market conditions. And so a quick highlight of someone who is a large investor, let me follow Mark first, who's the man in our ecosystem. Marco is talking about how excited he was when Aave turns on E mode for rETH. And E mode is when you can take more leverage against rETH, I think even up to 90%, because they have trust that there's stability in that token. It's potentially going to happen. And we can see that Marco is excited that after the unlock of Chapella, or originally called Shanghai, here's a strategy that some large investors are probably going to follow, with Mark Zeller, one of the key core devs on the Aave team, highlighting that you take this 4-step process. So people who already have ETH2 nodes, I have one. I do not have enough rewards from mine to be able to stake a new mini pool, but some individuals with maybe 10 nodes or more, or hundreds of nodes that have been running for over a year, will be able to skim off the top of their rewards. And that's step 1. So it's activate partial withdrawal. So from that, they can set and deploy Rocket Pool mini pools. And that would be with 8 ETH and 2.4 ETH of RPL, or with 16 ETH and 1.6 ETH of RPL. Then you can go grab rETH on the market, deposit on Aave. He says, then activate E mode and enjoy 2-figure yield. So he's putting it in fun terms of, be sure, Anon, please panic. That means more pools for me. It's a joke saying, consider what you're doing. And he's talking about being able to get over 10% return on his Ethereum by launching Rocket Pool mini pools, and then also going and buying some rETH, depositing that rETH on Aave, and leveraging it to then create more mini pools, or just to go even longer on rETH. So, Marco goes on here. It's also a huge growth catalyst for Rocket Pool and helps level the playing field. It's a big deal. We completely agree. It's a big deal. And so we'll end again in our Money Lego stack, our best representation of how we are now seeing this come to life, with Rocket Pool sitting on top of Ethereum, providing decentralized staking services, now being available on the top borrowing and lending protocol, Aave, and the options you can do with it. Let us know if you have any comments. Thanks so much for your time.